Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Pamela here with Passionate About Scrapbooking, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the Texas Hill Country in Fredericksburg, Texas. Welcome to Story and Sketch Live with Pamela, where I go live every Wednesday to share with you a story and a sketch using my newest Scrap and Create kit. This week, our Scrap and Create kit is called Floral Delight. And we're using the beautiful Floral Delight Sweet Collection. If you're joining me, be sure to say hello. Let me know you can hear me okay. And I will share with you. I just got a text message from Bevan. She wants me to make her a pizza today for lunch. She thinks she's saving money, but she has to drive home. But all right, so let her know real quick. And y'all will have to hold me accountable because at about 11:35, I need to be done so I can do that for her. Good morning, Teresa. Thanks for joining me. So you might remind me. Luckily, I have everything pretty much prepped, so this should go fairly quickly today, so it shouldn't be a problem. All right, so let's get back to what I was talking about. So today we're going to be creating a single 12 by 12 scrapbook page using my new Floral Delight Scrap and Create kit. And I have already created a 2-page 12 by 12 layout with it. We did that on Monday for Make It Monday Live. And these are the pages that we made on Monday. I think the only changes that I made after the live was I added the ribbon. I talked about that a little bit, and it just helped break up, or I don't know, it just added something to it. And then I did a couple of these little, I think they're supposed to be centers of some flowers. I'm not sure, but I thought they were cute little add-ons. So that was a super fun page to create. And of course, we're going to be creating another fun page today. And it's going to be about Wildseed Farms. Good morning, Debbie. If you have been watching since about June of last year, I've scrapbooked about Wildseed Farms a couple of times, I think. This is just going to be a single photo, kind of a reflective type scrapbook page. I'll read my journaling and share about how I'm doing that here in a minute. So again, the Floral Delight Scrap and Create kit you can get this week for free with a $50 purchase through my Stampin' Up! Website. However, you can also purchase it, just the kit, which will come with all the cardstock and designer series paper you need. I've got some hiding in here. This is what I've been working with so far. So this is what we have left as of today. So we'll have lots of beautiful things to use for our cards on Friday. We still have some vellum here. Can you see what I did to that? I'll share about that today. So again, designer series paper and all the cardstock that you need to recreate all the projects for the week. So the 12 by 12 2-page scrapbook layout on Monday, today's project, and 2 fun fold cards on Friday. So you can purchase the kit without making a purchase through my online store. You can get it half sheets or full sheets of paper for $26. Everything you need, plus some embellishments along. You can also pay $32 and I'll pre-cut each project for you. Just the designer series paper and the cardstock. Whoops, that was a cat. You will need the delightful wishes if you want to copy the pages exactly how I've done them, and some ink pads and maybe some other basic supplies. You'll get a full supply list in a PDF along with cutting measurements and links to the videos for the week. Good morning, Charisse. So this Delightful Wishes is on, I think, the last chance list. I know the paper is. I was going to look and see just to give y'all accurate information. Floral Delight is what it's called, the suite. So not everything's on last chance. Let me see. Maybe it's just the stamp. I'm looking. The ribbon's on last chance. Maybe that's all that is. Let's look. You'll get some ribbon in your, I'm not seeing the stamp set. So let me look. Or the bundle. Right, so I'm not seeing the paper or the trinkets. Yep, Delightful Wishes. This has not gone on the last chance yet. And I was going to look at the paper. Someone said it was on the last chance, but I don't see it on the last chance. So maybe they're not putting it on there quite yet. I think this was from the mini catalog for January through April. So they may not put it up on there until May 1st. We'll see. So right now it's looking like everything's available. Um, there was something that was low inventory. Well, that's last chance. Okay, anyhow, I have all the product. I have enough to make quite a few kits. So if you want to get your hands on a little bit of the kit, you don't want the whole thing, then you'll get some 6 by 12 of the designer series paper. So that's a quarter of the pack, I believe. You'll also get a 6 by 6 piece of each one of the vellum papers. I'll be using a little bit of one of those on today's project, and then we'll use some of the rest. There are some pretty ones with some pool party, I think is what it is. And then this one, which I already cut out flowers using the dies. How cool is that? Figured that out today. I hadn't thought to look at the other designer series papers to see how or if you could cut some of those out. Now I know you can't cut these out. And look, there's those little dots. So they had them in the lost or the pool party. Let me look at some of these others. I don't think there are dies to cut any of these out. These are too big. And there's that one. Yep. I think it was just out of that vellum, which is really cool. The uh, Floral Delight Designer Series paper just got restocked this week, I think yesterday, because I just ordered some. So it's available. And off the inventory status of unavailable. So yes. Yeah, I think it's all available right now. So I was just looking on my website. Yep, it's all available for purchase. So we're good. I did see something that was, I don't know. Let me look at this one more time. You have to look different ways and you see different things sometimes. Floral Delight. Hello, Debbie. It says the full suite is low inventory, so I'm not sure what's low. But Stamping Up's so good about keeping us updated on everything that's non-orderable or low inventory. I was just kind of looking to see if I could figure out what was low inventory. The bees, the little trinkets, those are what's on low inventory. So that's why the suite is on low inventory. Okay, there. There's all the details on that. Don't forget about Thursday evening, April 10th. That's this Thursday at 7 p.m. I'll be going live to create the Storybook Life scrapbooking workshop kit. So we'll go from cutting the paper to creating the three layouts. It takes 2 hours. That's what the last two have taken. So I'm assuming this one will take 2 hours as well. So if you have your kit, join me. If you haven't gotten your kit yet, you can still order it and watch the replay later. Then also on April 10th, this Thursday, at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time is the last day that you can subscribe for the April 10th or the April 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit. You can get the monthly subscription, or you can save a little money and get the 3, 6, or 12-month prepaid option. And all my Paper Pumpkin subscribers plus team members receive the exclusive Paper Pumpkin Creatives PDF each month for free. Love that. How far am I from McKinney, Texas? Debbie Mike can answer that. Her last name's McKinney. I'm actually not 100% sure. I always have to look at the map because Texas is so big. Probably far away. I was looking, making sure I got all the comments. Okay. Then also, Last Chance Products, I mentioned that just a minute ago. They added a ton of new products on someday. Last week, I can't even keep up with it anymore. I think it was April 1st. It's already been a week. So, tons of products. Some are last chance, some are discounted, some are not. They may be discounted later, but once they're gone off the last chance list, they're not coming back. And there are a lot. I printed out the full sheet and it was like super thick. So, pages and pages of last chance products. Then on April 15th, our new Stamping Rewards program starts. So you'll want to be sure you have a Stamping Up account if you're a customer, whether it's through me or through your Stamping Up demonstrator, or you decide to become a new customer, create a customer account now, and then April 15th, you'll need to opt in to the Stamping Rewards program so that you can earn rewards on every purchase $20 or more. It's going to be awesome. We all love getting free stuff, so you can add a little bit of, you can use some of your stamping rewards on your future orders, a little bit, a lot, all of it. You can save them, I believe, for up to a year. So you could order every month and then at Christmas treat yourself or something like that. Okay, Debbie says it's at least 4 hours away. So yeah. All right. Then let's get to our what we're doing today. All right. So I've got all these things open on my computer. So let me get back to my screen and get busy. I have two packages of the little bee trinkets. You'll get some of those in your Stamp and Create kit along with the ribbon. And all right, let's get busy. So we're going to be using our Delightful Wishes. I'm going to stamp the wishing in here and I'm going to incorporate it into my journaling. I did that a few weeks ago, I think, and showed you. And then, excuse me, I'll probably stamp this little piece right here, but I did a lot of die cutting already for, like, I did the branch and I die cut out. Oh, I don't even have them in here right now. I did die cut this on a little piece. I'll show you that. I die cut these leaves right here. And I think I have everything die cut, but I am going to show you a little tip for whatever kind of die cut machine that you have. Okay, this is my Stamp and Create. No, not my Stamp and Create. This is my cut and emboss machine. And see right here, let me show you what I got here. See that little thing right there? That is a very strong magnet. I got these off of Amazon, I believe. I think maybe six or eight came in like I can barely push them apart because they're so strong. And then I just used some tear and tape. They actually come with some foam adhesive, I think, so you can stick them on things. And I've stuck some around in different places. It's probably going to be loud because as soon as you get it close to some metal, it sticks to it big time. But I put some tear and tape on it and placed it right there so that when I'm die cutting, look, I can just stick my dies right here. And it'll hold like layers of dies because they're so strong. Tip free for you for watching. All right, looks like I've got to let the dog out real quick before we jump into this. Again, I have a timeline today because Bevan just messaged me as I went live. Please make me a pizza. So my goal is to be done by 11:30. So let's get after it. Again, I have everything pre-cut, I think, so we should be good. All right, I'm going to set everything aside. So our colors, this is the full collection of colors in the suite, but I'm probably just going to stick with like these two colors today. I guess I had a little bit of the pool party in Monday's project. I don't know if I'll ever use the peach pie, but we'll see come Friday if we get to that. Get my coffee, my messy coffee mug. All right. So I have a 12 by 12 piece of Daffodil Delight. This is our two-tone cardstock. One side's lighter than the other. And I thought about I don't think I will. I thought about doing some random stamping on it, but I think I'm not going to do that. However, I was looking to see if I had something so I could splatter on here. I think I'll just bring in my glass mat briefly, and that'll help, I think. I'm going to kind of cover up my stuff here just a second or move it out of the way to make sure I don't get any splatters on anything. Oh, I'm making a mess. Okay, hopefully I don't lose anything. There we go. So I've got my pecan pie and old olive uh, Stampin' Blends. And I know that I'm going to have something up here. I'm going to have my journaling right here, my photo over here. So I think I want to do just a little bit of splattering here and maybe down here. So it kind of goes like that. And I think I decided I might just do old olive. So you can just take your bone folder and a stamping blend and tap it to get a little bit of splatter going. I don't want to go down too far. I want to get some like on the edge too. That got, this is going to be mostly covered up over here. How cool is that? I love that technique. Now, if you wanted a little bit heavier, bigger dots, then you could squeeze your ink pad and open it up and pull a little out with like a paintbrush or a water painter. Even if you have one already, great. They're unorderable right now. Good morning, Lori. And sorry, it's like, oh, I was like, what did I do with my yellow cardstock? It's hiding right under there. So let me just show you real quick. Let's see if I have a clean one here. That's a little one. I really like my medium size one. It may be really dirty though. I'm not sure. And this one right here. So I'm just going to show you. I'm trying to locate everything that I need. I'm going to see. It is kind of dirty. So let me see if I can get it clean real quick. I'm just squeezing the water out until it looks semi-clean. There, the brush is looking cleaner. All right, I'm not going to bring my other mat out, but this is what I was talking about. 'Cause you can also do this, but if you have a little bit of, if you have a paintbrush, you could do this as well. But see, you get a different texture. I kind of like that. So you could do both. Okay. Then you can wipe that up if you want to with a paper towel and then just rinse off your brush so it's ready to go again. You can run it under the sink as well. That piece isn't stuck on there quite yet. Now I have a paper towel over here actually, just to make sure I don't have any splatters. There's probably a couple of splatters on the back of that. All right, I need to put this down. I'm on the light side. I'm going to put temporary dot, removable glue dots. So I can lay this down. So it's a 12 by 12, and I went in 1.5 inches, excuse me, and cut out the center so that I can use that paper on another project. All right, I'm going to get it straight on my table, and then I'm going to fix the camera just a teeny bit. So now I can just layer this on here. So there's enough room. This piece was 10 by 10. Probably going to have to replace my adhesive cartridge here in 1 second. I'm guessing. So you only want adhesive around the edges since I've cut out the center, little fuzzies of all kinds. And this seems a little heavier. Well, does it? Let me look. This is bigger. I'm going to do this one up here. And now we're just going to center, kind of, I think it's it for a 1 inch border. Oh, by the way, this template is out of the new 25-26 catalog. There's a page, I think it's page 28, that has 8 different scrapbook templates. That's what Stamping Up is calling them, templates. And I've flipped it, I guess. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. But I'm so excited. So there's card templates and there's scrapbook templates now. All right, I guess I'll use this area over here. Let me see if I can not lose all my little flowers that I die cut. These are 1/4 inch strips of pecan pie, and I did not care for, I felt like the edge needed something. So there's several things you could do. You could do the random stamping. You could ink up the edges, like with the pecan pie, if you wanted to. Either rub the ink pad along the edges or tap the cardstock in. I've shown you how to do some of that before, just to separate these two and help this piece pop off the background. So I decided not to do either one of those. I'm going to take strips of paper, cardstock, and do a little border around all the edges here. So I think this was a 1/4 inch piece by 11. And I thought it worked well with the photo that I have of the Wildseed Farms. Kind of gives that feel, I guess, of the garden. You could also like just take a pen, a black pen or a brown pen, and do a line, freehand a line around the white right there on the inside. So I considered several things and then I was like, oh, let me do something a little different. I thought about trying to like miter the edges, but I decided not to do that. So this is how I'm doing it, just where they kind of crisscross over. This would kind of be fun for like a school layout too, I'm thinking. Like if it was a like a whiteboard, a chalkboard, or a one of those signs you see they down on Main Street could do something similar there. And see how that just adds to the layout. All right, let me see. I'm trying not to lose all my little pieces that I cut, but I'm not being very successful. No. Okay, there. I think that's most of them right up there. So this is where I cut that piece out of. I'm using Spotlight on Nature dies and 2 sheets of dies in here. So this piece, all week long, I've wanted to like put it up in the corner or somewhere like that. On Monday, I wanted to put it on, I think, the white up in the corner, like up here, and then put something underneath to pop it through. But I used a white cardstock base, and I can't run this whole thing through a die cutting machine. I could do it through my Cricut, but then I can't use this. And I did share a little idea of how you can make that work, but I can't make it work with the Scrap and Create kit cardstock and paper. I just don't can't include enough of the paper. And then I thought, oh, I'll do it on this one. Still, same problem. This piece is too big to run through the cut and emboss machine. So I decided to do it on one of the spotlight dies. And then if you have like a big circle punch or one that doesn't have any design around the edge, that would probably work better. But I just decided to cut one of these in yellow so I could back it with that. And I'm going to do the light side, I think, and you'll just barely be able to see the design like right here and right there. So that's not going to be a big deal. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this. I'm going to do it onto here instead, I think, and then just get it up close to the edge here, and voila. Okay, so this is going to be, most of this is going to be covered up probably. This is going to be over here somewhere. So we'll build up all these little pieces first, and then it's title, embellishing, journaling. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Here's my photo of the Wildseed Farms. I went out there one afternoon by myself in August of 22 and just walked around and enjoyed the peace and quiet and looking at the flowers. And these caught my eye. And I always love to take a picture when I'm out there of the building with the big sign that says Wildseed Farms. And these are Esperanza flowers. What's the other name for them? Yellow bells? Is that right? Who are my gardeners? Who likes flowers? Who knows all the names of everything? I don't. So I think I went into my, so here's a tip, depending on, I'm guessing you can do this on your phone, on your app, you can do a search. I just typed in the word yellow. I did that on Monday to find my pictures of Bevan in her yellow shirt, and that's why I scrapbooked about that. Or scrapbooked those pictures first, and then I remembered the little memory of her always touching and picking up everything whenever we went down on Main Street or wherever we're at. She's always picking up something. So I did that again and just typed in yellow, and these pictures popped up, and I'm like, this is perfect for my photo today. So, or my layout today, my scrapbook page. So I'm gonna, there we go. I feel like my angle is off, but I think my angle on my camera is just perfect. It's my screen that looks kind of interesting. All right. So I'm going to take this and layer it right onto this paper. So we'll just put it straight down and center it. I cut these two papers to 5 by 7. Of course, my photo is a 4 by 6. And I just wanted to do a little paper layering. The back of this one, what's on it? That's pretty too. But we have a little bit of all this paper left that we can use on Friday. All right, I'm going to put the branches and some flowers like coming out over here. And then I wanted this over here somewhere. I'm not sure, like, this is going to fit right in here. Okay, so here's what I got to do for, let me find my paper trimmer. There it is. So this is a 4 by 6 piece of white willow cardstock. I first printed it, just everything on here. I left some room right here because I thought I would have room to maybe stamp the wishing on here, but I think the wishing stamp is, let me look and see, is longer. Actually, it would fit on here. Look, it would fit on there just fine, but it kind of overlaps. I would have to like take that off and spread this out even further. So what I did was just, I'm using that full sheet of clear shipping labels. I had, so first I printed it on the cardstock, and then I went through and added this on top here. And I actually ran it through again. I didn't think about this, but it printed over twice, which is perfectly fine. Most of the time, it probably wouldn't line up, but it apparently worked really well. So I've got actually what I can do right now. I'm just going to cut off that cardstock piece right here because that's going to go right in here. So let's do that. Hopefully, y'all can see this. So I like to line up both sides if I can, trim it off like that, and then I will line it up this way. Now I want to get it to right where I cannot see it in the gutter so that it should cut pretty close. But I want these to be, I'm going to do the bottom too, trim off just a little bit probably. Uh-oh, I think it kind of messed it up. See, sometimes it does that. So let's do this by hand real quick. I think I need to change my blade. It's a little rough right there, but I think it'll be fine. Let me get on a good background so I can see. Here's another tip too. I have a little, I have two. Let me grab them. So one's a nail product. You can buff your nails with that. Then I have a little sanding block here. This one's a little coarser. So I could just clean that up a little bit, like with a nail file or something. So it looks, it's not so rough looking. So if your cutting blade is getting a little rough and you're not quite ready to switch it out, but you have a little fraying going on, sand it off a little bit, okay? And then I'm going to put a little adhesive on here just because it's a tiny piece. I think I'm going to have to go right here. I'm going to see if I can use my, yep. I'm going to go the opposite way since there we go. One side, make sure you're using your blade going up and down so that you're using both sides of that blade. Okay, that'll work. And then I'm going to trim off. This one's good, but I got to trim off this little excess right here. And then these are going to go right in here somewhere. We'll see exactly what we're going to do in a minute, but we'll go ahead and lay some things out here. I don't know if I want to go all the way over here because I don't know yet how far I'm going to go. But maybe I'll go off the page where it comes out this way. Then I have all these cute little branches and everything. I might have to look at the catalog to kind of see how they did them, but they're just going to go on here. I was even able to cut out the leaves in that vellum paper, but I want these leaves to go with these flowers, I think. So all of these are vellum. And I think I'm going to do, I'm still trying to kind of decide on positioning. So on the template that's in the catalog, unfortunately, I can't show it to you quite yet, but it was flipped. So the picture was over here with a big block and then a little block. So I'm just rearranging it. I flipped it. It had a banner over here, and so I'm going to do something different over here. So I still kind of want to, I'm thinking about my triangle formation a little bit. I don't know if it's quite going to work, but all of these pieces we got to just kind of glue. Some of these, the leaves are layered like this. So I cut some out of designer series paper, some out of the light part of, because that matched almost perfectly. So I did the light side of the old olive. So I got to piece those together. And all right, back to the journaling. So I can pull this off. I just barely tack it down with a little adhesive on the back right there. So now Bevan says, actually, never mind. So now I don't have to cook her pizza. Oh, that girl. She's really not very difficult. This is super minor. Y'all know that, I hope. Actually, never mind. I wasn't able to stay in art fourth period. Oh, she would have left early then. So let me give her a thumbs up. Okay. So now we have all day. Just kidding. Uh, all right. Good morning, Flo. I haven't looked over at the chat for a few minutes. Hey, Lily. Yellow bells. Thank you. And Rosalind from, mm, you have to help me out. I'm forgetting if it's Missouri. What are the initials for Montana? I can't think right now. Is it MT and then Missouri is MO? I got that perimenopausal plus trauma brain that doesn't always recall things very well anymore sometimes. All right. So my I've got to leave room for to stamp wishing. What I decided to do with my journaling, I mentioned this just a little while ago. I'm going to move this and we can just figure out where to put those in a minute. So primarily I need to figure out where my photo and paper layering are going. And then this is kind of what my journaling is going to do. Okay. And I'm going to have that wishing in between. So I'm wishing for more moments like this so I can incorporate that with stamping. I didn't have to die cut anything out. And yeah, I just thought it would be fun to do that. And when I peel this off on here, it's going to look like this is actually printed right on the paper, which I love that. I can't remember if I learned that from Aaron or Jama, but they are former close to my heart makers who are now very successful Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. All right, so let's get this down. I want the picture straight and this just kind of poking out behind here. So I think first I'm going to tap. Yep, there it goes. Let me switch out my adhesive real quick. Whoops, I don't know what that was. Just trying to get into this packaging. Goodness. And so I've been getting this adhesive off of Amazon. I like the dotted adhesive that comes out in the dots instead of. I like the Stampin' Seal. My go-to has been this for so long. I'm still using it. And let me see if I can figure out how to. I always forget on this one. So give me 1 second. They used to have a big one like this, a big one that was blue and was this same adhesive. And I don't know if they discontinued it or if it's just out of stock right now. This is a Japanese company. So I had to go to the smaller one. I really like the bigger one better because it lasts a very long time. Okay, there we go. So let me just kind of position this where I think I want it. I'm gonna do it that up higher, add an angle, and I don't want to see it over in this corner. And all right, I think that's perfect. So now you have these two pieces. Now, how about we add a little dimension? The only dimension we might have will be the photo. Don't know about the vellum flowers yet. And let's see if I'm able to add, oh, I put it in a safe place and then I couldn't remember where that safe place was. All right, so let's put some of this. I get this off of Amazon as well. I'll put it behind on this one. Sounds like Lady is ready to come back inside, but she can wait a second. So if you're new here, I have several animals. One dog, and right now we have four cats. That was not intentional. I've never had that many cats before, but I've enjoyed them for the most part. We had five cats, and then the mama cat, she disappeared. So Noelle is no longer with us. Guess she went out one night and something happened to her a couple of months ago. All right, so that's just going to pop it up a little bit. It's not going to be super significant, but when you use the dimensionals or the foam tape, it just gives you a little bit of shadow and texture to your page. And it's not high profile, so it works great in your scrapbooks. All right, so let me make sure that I can fit these in here. All right, so I think that's going to be good. Give me a little bit of wiggle room. All right, so that's where it's going. Once it's down, it's not very easy to get back up. And then this is where I kind of have to decide how much. I guess I won't cover up too much if I put it like right in this area. I'm thinking I don't know if I want to overlap. Kind of like the idea of it being up a little bit higher like that, showing more of this. And then we might put a flower up in here somewhere. That's one of those vellum flowers. And then now we can figure this out. So originally I was thinking I want this up here, but now I'm wondering if I should. No. I mean, that would give me my triangle effect. I guess I don't have to have a triangle effect on a single page necessarily, because I really kind of like the look over here with that in the background. And we'll add more flowers and stuff to this. So let's just decide kind of where I think I want this. And maybe we'll center it more on this piece. The wishing won't necessarily be centered, but and we'll bring it in just a little bit. All right, I think that's what we're going to do. I need to stamp first. Okay, so let me get a block. I think this one will work. Is it going to be big enough? Is that the same? I'm going to do the big one, the big block. Yeah, that'll just make it easier. And we'll stamp it in green. All right, are we ready? So, what kind of tape? This one? This is the foam tape, and this is the adhesive. I don't know how to say that, but it's dot liner. Just plug that into Amazon and they'll come up with this one. And all right, I'm gonna get ready to stamp. Haven't used this stamp before, so I'm just gonna rub it on my hand to kind of season it. And then I want to be careful and not get too much, like any ink everywhere else, but that looks pretty good. And I'm pretty sure my old olive is pretty juicy. All right. So now it's just getting it straight and kind of centered. I'm going to let it sit for just 1 second. Voila, it looks so beautiful. It's always a little scary to stamp right on your page after you put everything down. Just want to take extra care, precaution. You want to make sure your hands are nice and clean, like there's no ink or oils before you peel off the backing to this vellum. I'm going to start down at the bottom. And let's see, there is a little spot right there. I'm only going to put that part on because I want to. Now we can probably go over just a little bit, so I think I will. I think you'll be able to see the black. And all but kind of be connected. So this piece is stuck right here. Then once you have that, you can peel off the rest. So you can see it just a little bit there. That's fine. And then same thing with this one. Let me see if, I don't know if there's a break in this one. And when there's not, it gets a little tricky sometimes. Let's see if I can peel off the backing. So, how's everyone doing? 'Cause this might take a minute. I haven't really figured out a. Let me try what I used to do on. I don't know if this will work. No, sometimes I could get the back off. Well, anybody have any? We might be here a couple hours just for me trying to figure out how to get this off. Good grief. I know. I've got some tape on here. I'm gonna put it really tight on here. So we're going to, let me find my, there it is. I don't know, it probably won't stick. Maybe I can make it stick a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, I just gave you another tip. Again, you want to be real careful putting your finger on there because it'll pick up just about anything. So I'm just going to fold over a little bit of the corner there so I can decide where I want this. I guess I'll let it overlap that H just a teeny bit. And I think we're good there. Okay, hopefully. And make sure I don't have any adhesive stuck on there. Not sure what that is. That's not coming up, whatever that is. And then just carefully let it slide over. There. So we got our journaling on there with our title. So that's going to be my title, Wishing. And I incorporated it into my journaling. Now, you may be wondering if you're new here, how did I figure that out, that it was almost perfect in between there. Well, that's where AI comes in and helps with your scrapbooking a lot. I am loving AI. I use ChatGPT a lot, like every day. I use it instead of Google now. I don't even go to Google. There's just no point because AI will just give you the answer. You don't have to plug something in and then look through a bunch of websites. It just pulls it up for you and gives you a good answer, usually. All right, just clean that up and put that away. So I asked ChatGPT, I told it about that I went out to Wildseed Farms and by myself on August 22nd or August 2002, which Wildseed Farms is in Fredericksburg, Texas. I wasn't sure the name of the flowers. So I said, if you can tell me what the flowers are, that would be great. And then it formulated this journaling for me. And it didn't have wishing in there at first. So when I finally figured that out, I told it to redo the journaling with the word wishing somewhere in the middle of the journaling. And that's how I came up with that. And then just in my word program, I separated it out where the word, so I'm wishing, so it was written in there, I'm wishing for more moments like this. So, ta-da! All right. Okay, so now we just need to figure this out and this. We need to put let's get all of this piece together real quick. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat and I cut out all these little flowers from the vellum sheet. So if you joined late, let me show you again what I did there. So this vellum sheet right here, let me find, oh, the dies are on give me one second. I'll bring the dies in, but the dies will cut out these flowers. Like you can even go off the page if see if they're going off. You can still cut these flowers out and get like these right in here, possibly. And oh, my hip is hurting me. Sorry, it's popping. And then I cut all these flowers out using this die. And this one cuts out the leaves. So I cut out all the leaves that were full that I could get out of this piece. You can get a full 12 by 12 piece of each sheet if you buy the specialty vellum paper, but you'll get a 6 by 6 piece in your Scrap and Create kit. Details are in the description on how to grab one of those. And then next week, I'll have the PDF available for purchase only if you have the products already or you just want the PDF. All right. So I cut some of the leaves out of designer series paper, and then the layer that goes on here is out of cardstock, but I used the light side, so it gives some depth there. So let's pull all these in so I can get those pieced together. So a little bit of paper piecing. So this is a pretty intricate, it was a little scary. I put doing this kit off for a while. So I think it came out in January and I'm just now playing with it because it was like all the dies and the pieces were a little intimidating to me. But I went on Pinterest and just typed in Stamping Up Floral Delight and found all these beautiful projects, mostly cards created by fellow demonstrators, and kind of studied it a little bit to see how everything was put together. And it's not so bad if you don't mind doing some of these little pieces. Takes a little extra time just to die cut them out, but the end effect is beautiful. So it's well worth the effort. This is a beautiful collection of products. And I think just the Daffodil Delight just pops, makes everything pop, and is perfect for this time of year. So here in the Texas Hill Country, we got some rain and cold weather last week or two. And then Monday, the clouds disappeared, the sun came out, and we have beautiful fall weather. I mean, spring weather right now. Now it's a little windy today, but blue skies, green in, like all the trees are popping and the grass is growing. I haven't been out to see the bluebonnets, but we're going to San Antonio on Saturday to see a movie with King of Kings, I think is what it's called. Anybody heard of that? It's a animation. We're going to go with Jeff's parents to do that. And I'm sure we'll see lots of bluebonnets on the highway. And then we might have to just take a ride down some of the country roads coming home to see more. So I'm excited about that. So only seen a couple of bluebonnets. I haven't been out and about too much lately. Debbie, my next order, yes, you need the two-tone cardstock. As a former close to my heart maker, that's all we had for years and years and years and years. Well, I can't remember. For years, it was just that lightweight cardstock. So it's lighter weight than the Stampin' Up! Paper. So when I first transitioned over to Stampin' Up!, I did not like the heavy cardstock. I was like, ugh, because I just wasn't used to it. Now I absolutely love it. And I'm a little sad that we'll have the standard Stampin' Up! Cardstock in 8.5 by 11, but they're not going to have it in the 12 by 12 anymore, except in a couple of neutral colors. So I'm a little sad about that, but I think I'm missing, nope, there it is. It was just upside down. The two-tone cardstock will be in all the colors. Whoops, what did I just say? Just a minute. I'm looking to see if I dropped a leaf or I feel like I did, but I don't see it. Oh well, I have three little leaves. I think I should have four, but maybe not. That's fine. I think we're good. I'm just looking. Trash. Okay. So now we just need to finish really embellishing, putting everything on. Our blue bonnets didn't come up. Oh no. Bummer. I need to find out. I know Anita, my mother-in-law, she planted some. Oh, I missed Flo saying she had to leave, but hope she has a good day. Oh, Lily's in Austin. That's awesome. Just a neighbor, a hop, skip, and a jump away. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down right here. So when I scrapbook, I primarily like to use the tape runner. When I'm making cards, I have learned to use the green glue mostly. So I love the silicone mat from Stamping Up because the adhesive doesn't stick to the mat. All right, So we're just gonna put it right there. We have those splatters back there, and then we can decorate up. So I was gonna say I was gonna look in the catalog, but I don't know where my mini catalog went to. Let me see if I have it in here somewhere real quick. I probably got it. Oh, maybe I do have it. Hold, please. Alrighty, let's see here. Okay, so this was the January, April mini catalog. I don't even know why. Okay, there it is. Look. Okay, so if you're ever stumped on how to use something, check out the catalog. There are digital copies online, so you can see some of the beautiful ways. So we may have some, we'll have, we may, it's not we may, we will have some fun on Friday for our fun fold cards. Um, like I think these flowers were fussy cut out of the designer series paper along with these. There's some of that die cut that we just did. Oh, I hadn't thought to do, I keep thinking I just got to go this way, but you could go up as well with it. I hadn't thought to do that. I was just looking at the different ways you could add the flowers. So I'm going to look at it kind of this way over here for this. So I was really thinking I would mostly use these that I vellum cut. I did two sets of them. I don't know that I will need two sets. So let's figure out. I think this is repetitive, so I'm going to put these over here for the moment. And you'll be able to see the vellum or the branch underneath there a little bit, and that's fine. I think I saw Elizabeth Price, a card that she made that I realized, oh my gosh, you can cut out the vellum. Okay, lady, 1 second. I never did let her in, did I? All right, and then these pieces I want to use. See, I could put some up around in here too, some flowers. 1 second. Aw, a poor little pumpkin. He got, I don't know if he got ran over, if he just got his foot stuck in something, but he's got some little injuries on both his back legs, his feet, his paws. So I think he's going to be okay, but he may not come home one night. And that'll make me sad. But we let him out to go play and do all the stuff, so I'm not going to keep him holed up in the house. All right, so let's see. I'm kind of looking at the sample to see where I can put everything, kind of how they have, oh, excuse me, can't get it up. So I could use another, so again, I cut out two of these. Well, that's not the piece I want. There we go. Do a piece right here. And I may bring in the green glue just for this. And we could just do one over here. I think there's even another little piece. Yeah. Do it on the end. There should be another one of those little pieces, but I think I've misplaced it. So let me just look and see if it's hiding somewhere. Don't think so. If I can find it in my stash of stuff. If not, no biggie. Just thought I would kind of look. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So we can use like this one. Oh, I'm not seeing it, but it's right here on the table in front of me. Good grief. Okay, there we go. And we'll add some flowers in there. I mean, some leaves in there. And I might can just stick that in here somewhere too. We'll see. I don't know if I want to go. Maybe I'll go down like that and then do one like right up in here. Okay, I think that'll be good with leaves. I was gonna do these leaves was my plan. I hope that's not too obnoxious. So I might see if I can pop these up actually with some minis. And I don't think that it'll be that noticeable, but let me look and see. So if we do like this, we go right where the yellow is. Flip it over and see. Yeah, you really won't be able to tell. You could cut, I have a few little tiny pieces over here. I may even cut them a little tinier. I could put, oh gosh. Oh, that's one of the cats. Okay, so since the vellum is printed, you can get away with using different type of adhesives probably. Just try, because they are printed on there, so you really just you can't see behind it. So that's nice. I'm gonna go about right there, and we'll give a little dimension. I could even do these little bitty ones, but maybe a smaller little piece. So this is a little tedious, but it's going to be well worth the effort. And then we can put some of these leaves. The leaves might be a little big for up here, so I might end up putting them down here. I may have to do these instead. That'll probably be prettier. But I think these I will just put a little bit of adhesive. So like I'm gonna go ahead and stick one down. Yep. I think that's gonna work best. And then let's just keep putting minis on here. Yeah, I know. Pumpkin's my very favorite, but he's a tomcat, so he's out prowling and he's been not coming home some nights. Tisk tisk. And honestly, we never even intended to have a cat. I think we had gotten a dog. We didn't intend to get a dog, and someone gifted us Lady, which we love her. She loves Jeff. Definitely turned out to be Jeff's dog, though it was gifted to us for Kyle, but he didn't really take to her or her to him. But she adores Jeff just like I do. All right, so just continue piecing these on here, getting these on here. And we just have a few other embellishments to do and we'll be done. But when I said we didn't have any intentions, yeah, we didn't have any pets. And then Ladybug showed up, I think April 21, and then December, I think, of 21, I went out to the mail at night to check it because we had forgotten. And Noelle was out at the mailbox. She was a calico female. And she was probably 6 months to a year old already. She's probably almost a year old when she showed up, and she followed me right to the house and right inside the house and then never left. And then 2 years, about 2.5 years later, she got pregnant. And that's where we got Pumpkin. We got rid of two. One died, two of them we gave away. And then she got pregnant again before we could get her fixed. And that's how we ended up with the other three kittens. So just kind of crazy. All right, so I think I might put a couple, maybe one foam dimensional. Let me see where I want it to go. I want it to kind of be about right there, probably. So I'll put one right, because this is raised up, remember? I don't even know that I need one. Let's see. I'm going to just put adhesive on the back like that. Go right over the photo, but I'm going to stay within yeah, I'm going to stay within the boundary, but close, because you can still see the bells and of course, these won't be on here, so you'll see the yellow bells up there too. And I think I want it to go off the page just a teeny bit, or that piece right there, kind of nestled up in there, but along with the date. As I can see possibly doing a flower here and up here. Let me see what else we have to work with real quick. All right, I think I got all those on, so let's do some more leaves and we'll finish that off. I think I have 5 of these. All right, so don't think, yeah, maybe I'll just kind of do it on the paper, and I just put that, uh-oh, oh, that's just the corner of the DSP, which I think is fine. You can't really see it unless you look really close. All right, and we'll add these bigger leaves to these bigger flowers. Stick them in different little areas. Look, I'll do not this one. One more. All right, take care, Debbie. And let's see if I can sneak this right up in here somewhere. Okay, I like that. That's so pretty. I'm so glad I did the heavier dots there. Okay, these pieces I probably won't use. I mean, you could, I don't think so. I think I'll just do these. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing it on the back side. I'm just gonna put some dimensionals right behind each one of those. Let me play around with positioning a little bit. Maybe do I want just one or two? I'm gonna see if I can sneak this in over here somewhere. Maybe. I'm not committing yet. Got these two. I'm gonna have the leaves coming out of here so I can that'll pop it up a little bit more. Think I might like that, and then I think it'll look prettier with the leaves. These are really big leaves. I don't know. I'll put dot on this one. Definitely going to stick one right there somewhere. Let me kind of see how I can position it. It can overlap a little bit, not cover up anything. Maybe a little leaf. These leaves seem a little too big for these flowers, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use them or not. So give me 1 second. May not quite be done because we have this paper, and these are a little bit bigger and they already have leaves on them, but let me see if I can fussy cut one out real quick that's close to the edge. Here's one that's, ooh, that pretty gingham. What if I do, let me try to incorporate just one of these, and maybe that'll help. And if I get pretty close, and there's not a die to cut these bigger flowers, I don't believe. They're all a little bit smaller. So I do get to do a little bit more technique on these single pages. And then I have, since I got quite a bit prepped, this isn't too bad. So if you love fussy cutting, you could cut a bunch of these flowers out. I don't mind fussy cutting. I don't know if I love it. I'm trying to cut those leaves off so then I can put the big leaf wherever I want. All right. So I think that's going to, then I can kind of put some of these around, and I think I'm going to like that better. Okay, I'm going to get a big foam dot with this one. We might do one more over here somewhere, but I'm not going to sit here and fussy cut a bunch of flowers. If I go nestle right up into that W right there, then let's figure out where. See, I think the flower just needed to be a little bit bigger. I'm gonna barely lay it down so I can, oh, it's stuck to my adhesive. Let me angle it just a little bit. Kind of need my tweezers maybe. Or should I do it up here? Maybe that's what I'll do. This one I'm just going to glue right down. All right, so this is starting to come together. And I'm not sure yet, so I may just put one flower over here. I think that may be all it needs. And I don't know if it'll be one of those or just maybe something like that. I might just have some fun with a couple of these as well. I mean, out from underneath that, I'm gonna go, that one's already down. I don't want that big leaf for that little flower. All right. Maybe I could do two of these. So if I do one like here, maybe. And I'll put a couple of dots around. Okay, so all that's down, and all I have are big leaves, so I don't know that I'm gonna put any, use these or not. I think I'm just gonna stick this on here, maybe with no leaves. And what, I have the little bee trinkets. I don't know that I'm gonna do any ribbon with this one. Let me find my bee trinkets. Oh, they're right here. And let's see. I'm just gonna dump those in there so they're all together. All right. So let's finish up. That one's on. I'm just gonna do it like right down, kind of. That one I did pop up, so I'm gonna pop this one up. We're just gonna add a couple of bead trinkets, and I think we're done. Don't want to go too crazy. Oops. Okay. I think I'll nestle it right up there with the F in Fredericksburg. And are there any other places that I want a flower? Mm, no, I don't think so. I think that's done. Okay. Other than our bead trinkets, couple of glue dots. That is how I found the easiest way. And you can do this. I didn't do this on, I don't think, on Monday, but you could actually cut your glue dots in half. That way you don't have such a big. I'm just going to roll that off there so it's on the tip of my piercing tool. Oops. Couple of little bees. So instead of like the adhesive dots, you can just put a couple of little bees here and they are so pretty. Oops, there we go. All right. Is there anything I'm missing? I think I got it all. I think I'm good. It always amazes me how much the last little embellishments just fill in the gaps. Put a glue dot back there. Put them on the white and they just really pop. And I can see doing just a couple more. So I put so far one in each little area of, I don't know that I'd really call them clusters, but I mean, I guess they are. And you can just put it right over top of that little journaling area there. How about one more? So we have 5 total, and you can do even more than that if you wish. I think I'll limit it to 5. I think that's what I put on. I can't remember if I put on 5 or 7. I probably put on like 7 on the other one. Yep, I did 7 on the Monday's page. And we'll do one more over here. All right. There is our page for today with our stamped title hidden in the journaling using one of the new sketches, one of the new templates is what Stamping Up is calling them, out of the 25-26 catalog that is coming soon. And if you've placed an order with me this year, I will be either dropping a catalog off to you or shipping one to you. What does your cover of Scrapbook look like? I'm not sure what you mean, Lily, on that. So just documenting a single photo on a 12 by 12 page is fun. Now, if you put this in your scrapbook album, you might do a coordinating page. You could totally do a second page with this if you chose to, but I think I just saw yesterday Stamping Up still has some of Close to My Heart's 6 pocket protectors. So you can slide in 6 4x4 photos. I like to do that sometime on the opposing page if I have more photos that go along with it, but I don't want to scrapbook 2 pages. So that's an idea. And, or it's just not a big deal and you just have an opposing page. So I know lots and lots of people do just 12 by 12s, but um, yeah, I like to do both. I love my 12 by 12 2-page layouts, but I enjoy doing these single pages too. All right, so I'm going to sign off. That was right at an hour and a half. So if I was doing Bevan's Pizza, everything would have worked out just fine. So good thing I die cut everything out to begin with. And there we have it. Our wishing, I don't even remember what I titled the video, but it's the wishing 12 by 12 scrapbook page using the new Floral Delight. It's not so new anymore, but it is to me because this is the first week I've been playing with it. So there is it in the mini catalog, which ends April 30th. It was January to April. Beautiful colors, lots of bright, beautiful products. Look at all that. How they did that. They cut a bunch of circles. And your stamp set, your bee trinkets, your dies, vellum, specialty vellum paper, and the designer series paper. I think there might be another. Yeah, look, there's a whole nother. It shows you different ways that you can use the wishing. So I showed you another way today to incorporate it into your journaling. So Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget about my Scrap and Create kit. You can get that with a minimum $50 purchase through my website. There's a link in the description. You can also get it for $26. That includes shipping. You'll get all the designer series paper, the vellum, and the cardstock to recreate all the pages, and you'll have some scraps left over. You can also request or purchase the pre-cut kit where I will cut all these pieces of paper for you ahead of time. You'll just need the bundle with your inks and um, Stampin' Blends if you want to do the splattering. What else? You'll get your ribbon and some bee trinkets as well. So, thanks for joining me again. Have a great Wednesday. Come join me on Friday at 10 a.m. for Feel Good Friday, where I'll be creating two fun fold cards using this same collection of products, and we're going to have some fun. So, that's what I'm going to be figuring out are our fun folds for Friday, something different than we've done before. I've seen some really cute ones lately. So, all right. Thanks again. Debbie, I'm going to be hollering at you about your Scrap and Create kit from last week and your catalog. Maybe we can connect tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.